following this channel for the longest period of time will actually that I have hinted on today's topic, and I want to actually zero into this. There are actually speculations that Nelson Chamisa may be forming a new movement, but it remains speculation. There is absolutely no truth into that. Nelson Chamisa has actually denied that there is absolutely nothing of that sort at the moment. The last time I had a communication from Nelson Chamisa. And now, if that political movement is to be formed, then it means it will be wrestling against also the Blessed Geza revolution. We have decided to term it a Blessed Geza revolution. Now, the question is at the center of, I think, Nelson Chamisa as well as Blessed Geza, they would be having one common aim. I mean, one common aim, which is at the moment to get rid or to defeat the Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa dynasty. But I think when we look at Blessed Geza and Nelson Chamisa, they stand for two different things. Now, Blessed Geza is coming from ZANU-PF. He is seeking a reformation, reforms through ZANU-PF. He is seeking actually a political solution within ZANU-PF. And ZANU-PF as a political, and also one thing about him, he has actually acknowledged where ZANU-PF has gone wrong. He acknowledged that they were once doing very, very evil things in Zimbabwe, and they were forced to do so, and they want to correct this before they actually leave this Mother Earth. But the question is, should he be trusted of these words? Now let's look at Nelson Chamisa, what he is fighting for. He is fighting for the democratization of Zimbabwe. Of course, as erratic as it has been in terms of emerging to be one of the prominent political leaders, I think we strongly believe that that is what he stands for. He stands for a new, they call it a new Zimbabwe. And I think most of the people who are following him, they strongly believe that a new Zimbabwe would be a democratized Zimbabwe, where there will be freedom of speech, where there will be plurality of media as well as also political parties, whereby there will be economic progress, because it has been proven that where there is democracy, there is bound also to be economic progress. So now, I think it was important to actually spell out what these two stands for in the politics of Zimbabwe, because it's important in the midst of course, excitement, whereby people are desperately looking for someone at the moment who can totally remove Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa has been a disaster, and I must tell you that I sense he would be removed, and it's very, very soon. It's intuition based on what has politically transpired in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa would be gone very, very soon. But the question is, who poses as a threat to Mnangagwa between Chamisa as well as also Blessed Geza? Chamisa, I must say, he is a threat to Nelson Chamisa. That's why there is an intelligence actually report that identified Nelson Chamisa as a threat to Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa going for a third term. That is why Esengezo Chabangu had to be planted to actually neutralize Nelson Chamisa. Now, it became almost, I must say, an easy job for Mnangagwa to actually neutralize Nelson Chamisa. But it is becoming a mammoth task to actually neutralize Blessed Geza. Why? Because Blessed Geza comes from ZANU-PF. He knows what politically works if you want to remove someone, what does not politically work. I think he has emphasized what I have always underscored, that when it comes to Zimbabwean politics, change of a succession is not at the moment determined by elections. Elections have been repeated numerous times, though you can actually expose the shenanigans that are done by ZANU-PF, of which Nelson Chamisa has actually done that very, very well and given us a picture and a clue of how elections are rigged in Zimbabwe. I think his people worked, and did a very, very diligent and a credible job, especially during the 2023 elections. We got to understand how Robert Gabriel Mugabe, how actually Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa have been rigging elections, particularly in rural areas. Nelson Chamisa had a team that went as far as rural areas to really expose the extent of rigging. Unfortunately, Mnangagwa, when he saw the intensification of being exposed, what did he do? He also had to counter that. We saw arrest of numerous NGOs who could have actually provided Zimbabweans with empirical evidence, their devices being taken away by the state, and the officials of those non-governmental organizations being arrested, their devices being taken and checked. That on its own was a counterintelligence to try and stop the plan that might have been. I strongly believe in 2023, Nelson Chamisa implemented a plan to actually expose Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa's rigging. And by the way, he won by far, but it has been proven that even if Tsvangirai was winning by far, on Robert Gabriel Mugabe. That is why the first elections when Tsvangirai competed, how long did it take for the results to be released? That shows you the extent in which Morgan Tsvangirai won those elections. He won those elections, by far, beyond any imagination that you can think about. It took almost a week to release elections, so which means they were rigging. They were rigging to inflate the numbers against Morgan Tsvangirai before releasing the results. And also you have heard from individuals like this Minister of Home Affairs, it's Kazembe, also saying they spent the whole night rigging the elections in Zimbabwe in order to actually counter the results that Nelson Chamisa had actually achieved. So now when it comes to Nelson Chamisa, unless he does not change his political tactics from the politics that was practiced by Morgan Tsvangirai, the politics that has been practiced by him, 2 attempts have been done to try and remove Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, but to no avail. If the strategy is still the same, unfortunately, there is high probability, because ZANU-PF can rig elections. No other country outside the world can come in and actually fight against ZANU-PF. It is the Zimbabweans alone with the actually prerogative to do so. The world is seized with a lot of issues. Trump is trying to stop Russia from Ukraine. There is China there. He's trying. There is a lot that he is seized with, to such an extent that to actually pay attention into the issues of Zimbabwe, they will just continue to escalate the sanctions and stop there at the moment. So it will take a length of time. If in fact, it cannot even be achieved. That is why you saw Morgan Tsvangirai wanted to remove Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Dying still ZANU-PF in power. So now let me answer. I think I've been at pains trying to explain what you already know. So now in simple terms, who stands a chance to actually remove Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa between Blessed Geza as well as Nelson Chamisa? I think it will be that simple to answer that particular question. Blessed Geza comes from ZANU-PF. He has acknowledged that elections does not work to remove a sitting president like Emmerson Mnangagwa in Zimbabwe. I think he has repeated that several times. Let me try, maybe I can get something on that. Sorry, just a moment. So he has explained, I mean, for a long period of time, especially regarding elections, that elections in Zimbabwe does not actually produce a change. It cannot, because Mnangagwa can easily counter the issue of elections. So let me see, is this script the one on elections? Let me see.
This is my official Twitter account, which I will be using to communicate with you starting from today. The official Twitter account.
Oh, I'm trying to get a video where he spoke about elections, but I will get it some other time. I think I will dwell on the same topic, maybe today. So, in simple terms, the person, in my view, who has the capacity to actually give Emmerson Mnangagwa a headache and most probably get rid of him. It is Blessed Geza more than Nelson Chamisa, in my view, unless if Nelson Chamisa comes with a new strategy, because Blessed Geza is not using elections. Is not working on elections. I think people will see in the near future. It's just few days or few months away. You will begin to see what we've been speaking about. That elections indeed in Zimbabwe do not change, do not lead to change. In fact, it will allow ZANU-PF to stay in power over and over again. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can also financially support this channel by pressing the subscribe plus button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Also, please do remember we are on X. We are on X, formerly Twitter. You can search for us. You can search Hlonipani Global News, or our handle is this capital H, Hlo, HLO, and then capital G for global, and then capital N for news, and then the rest of the caps are actually in small letters. We are posting content there. I see quite people are following it. That is lovely. So let's go there in numbers and make sure that we also follow that channel on X account.